Hoju, Anin, Tannis Sketchings, Indigenous, Dakota Plains First Nation, Indunji, Winnipeg, Noongum, Indijida, Miigwech. I want to touch base on some of the myths. I think a lot of dislike that Indigenous people receive sometimes is built on myths. When I have shared my stories with other Indigenous people and they've shared their stories with me, a lot of what we have in common is based on myth. I believe these myths help keep a resentful attitude towards our people. And if we can debunk these myths and spread truth, hopefully it breaks down that wall. Do Indigenous people get free education? As mentioned prior, I am from Dakota Plains, and I was able to get some real numbers from my Uncle Donnie, who is the education director, so I can be transparent with you on how it works for our community. Yes, I myself have attended post-secondary to become an accountant, and I have had my tuition paid for. However, I want to clarify how the system works. There is a waiting list when you want to apply for post-secondary funding. You have to get in line and wait your turn to become available. You do not decide you want to attend school and then attend school immediately. You could be waiting a few years. There is not a constant stream of funds to send everyone that wants to go. Each community has a budget based on the size of the community. If you have a large community, you will be able to send more people to school. If your community is smaller, you will send less people. And currently, Dakota Plains has 5 students attending post-secondary education, and that is the max at this moment. You do not get to switch up career paths constantly. I can't be in finance this year and switch to nursing and then be a mechanic the next. There are rules you must follow while attending. Your attendance and grades are monitored, and you can be withdrawn if you do not meet the expectations. I want to add that personally, I have also received a student loan when I did not qualify for funding. Indigenous people do apply for student loans and get their education that way as well. Do Indigenous people pay taxes? If you are Indigenous and have the opportunity to work on a reserve, you do not pay taxes on your income. However, how many jobs are available on reserve? For the most part, this is based on the size of your community. If you have a large community, you will have more employees. If you are a smaller community, you will have less employees. In my community of Dakota Plains, we have approximately 380 members. We have employment opportunities for about under 20 people, which is roughly 5% of our members. That is a fairly small portion of Indigenous people who are not paying taxes on Dakota Plains. If you work off the reserve, such as in Winnipeg, you will pay taxes. When you compare that to the number of people on the reserve, that means 95% of our members would pay taxes. I myself have been employed since I was 16 years old off of reserve, and I've always paid taxes. At the end of 2019, my sister and Carmen enrolled in a community course to learn the Ojibwe language. We would meet once a week with a group and learn by playing games and interacting with another. But due to COVID, that course ended. But it was because of that course that I was able to introduce myself in Ojibwe in the beginning. And I am proud that I can do that. And I want to be able to have full conversations in my languages, Ojibwe and Dakota. I am left often feeling a loss of identity by not knowing my culture, and it really hurts me. I want to get my culture back. I need it. And so my goal is to get it back. I want to thank you all for listening to my family today, to be able to share with you what growing up Indigenous has been like for us. There is so much more I wish I could have shared with you. There is much that I'm still learning on my own. And if you ever want to ask me something, feel free, I'm here, and we can learn together. And I encourage you to do your own research, take that course that Chris mentioned. I encourage you to watch the series on APTN called First Contact. There's 2 seasons, and it showcases non-Indigenous people entering the lives of Indigenous peoples. It's a powerful series, and if you want to watch it together, I would watch it with you. I don't want you to walk away today feeling sorry for us, or instead I would just like you to walk away as another voice for Indigenous people to spread truth and stand up for those who may need you. Miigwech.